Hello kids, so here your teacher Ruminder Kaur and we are going to talk about today the last video lecture of chapter number 4, that is Animal Kingdom. As we have studied different classes under vertebrata like cyclostomata, chondric thighs, ostic thighs and amphibians. And today we are going to start with class reptiles, in which different kind of reptiles will be talked about and their basic features will be discussed. So let's first of all we will start with number first point. So most of the reptiles, they can creep on the ground and they move from one place to another with crawling. So they are not living in water. Now they are terrestrial. Means earlier, like amphibians, they were living both in water and on land. But these reptilia or reptiles, they have adapted to live on land. So they have terrestrial conditions. Their body is covered by a dry skin and even a cornified. Cornified means small scales are present on them. As you can see a picture of chameleon, crocodile, chelone means tortoise and a snake. Small scales are present on their body and we call them as scutes. They do not have any external ear openings like we have studied that there is. Like in amphibians, there was tympanum. So tympanum represents ear, but there are no any external ear openings. That's why they even can't listen. There is just one membrane present and they have again two pair of limbs. Heart is 3-chambered, but there is one exception that in crocodiles they have 4-chambered heart. They are again cold-blooded, so we call them as poikilotherms. They have the capacity, most of them like snakes, lizards, they shed their scales as skin cast, right? So you must have seen the outer covering of the snake. So snake is a clean animal because it removes its skin cast on the regular basis. So a new membrane, new skin comes from inside. Sexes are separate as already talked. Internally they fertilize, they lay eggs and there is development which is direct. Means no intermediate stage will form. No larval stage. So examples as we have already discussed. So many other examples are also mentioned. Any two you can remember. Now let's come to the next 6th class, that is aves, in which all kind of birds are coming. So the most important characteristic feature of birds is presence of feathers. Most of them fly. There is one exception, that is ostrich. They have a beak through which they can eat the food. The shape, size, texture of the beak vary from one bird to the another. It can depend upon the kind of food habits do they have. Some of the birds, they are eating seeds. Some of them are feeding on fruits as well. Some of them are eating the plant parts, and some of the birds, they are insect eating birds. So we can say the differentiation of shape, size of beak depend upon the type of food habits do they have. 4 limbs. Like if I have said that most of the vertebrates that have 2 pairs of appendages, means total 4 in number, then you will say that ma'am, we have only seen 2 feet in birds, because the front 4 limbs, means the front 2 limbs, which we call them as 4 limbs, they are modified into wings, and hind limbs, they generally have scales on their body and they can even walk like sparrow, crow, most of the birds, they are walking. Even some of them, they use it for swimming and holding the tree branches. So that is called as clasping. Skin is dry usually. There is no moisture on the skin like we have studied in amphibians. And there are no much glands present on the skin. Only one gland is there that consists of oil based materials, and that is also present at the base of the tail. Next feature, that again skeleton is inside. Fully ossified means no cartilaginous tissue, only it is made up of bones. And most of the bones, they are long in nature. As already talked, they do not have anything else than air. So we call it as pneumatic characteristics. Means only air is filled in them, that makes them hollow so that they can easily fly in the air. Otherwise, if bones will be heavy, then they can't fly. So this feature is very important. It is helping them to take a flight. Next, digestive tract of birds, they have additional chambers like crop, gizzard. So these are very common for digestion. Now if we talk about the difference of the aves from the any other classes, that they have 4-chambered heart, they are warm-blooded, means homeothermous animals. Earlier we have said for all the different kind of classes, poikilotherms, means cold-blooded. But birds, they can maintain the body temperature constant depending upon its surrounding. Coming to the respiration part. Respiration is done by lungs. Air sacs are present. So they are connected to the lungs, which can supplement the respiration means so that they can easily inhale the oxygen from the surrounding. Other features are almost same like we have studied in other classes. Sexes are separate. Internally they will fertilize. They are laying eggs and there is no stage like larva. Examples can be any bird which you like the most, you can give that. So it's up to your wish. Coming to last class, that is Mammalia, the most complex creatures present on the earth. They are found in variety. Variety not in habitat but even in the characteristics. Some of them can stay on polar ice caps. Some of them can be found on deserts, few on mountains, in forest, grasslands, dark caves. And some of them can even fly like bat. Or they can live in water such as shark, whale, etc. The very important characteristic feature that the name Mammalia belongs to, that they have mammary glands. Mammary glands are the milk producing glands because these mammals, except a few of the exceptions, most of them, they are giving birth to their young one. So when the young one is produced, so how they can be nourished, because that young one will be too small. So for the nourishment, these mammary glands are very important. So pair of mammary glands are there. Then they have 2 pair of limbs which are used for walking, running, climbing, burrowing, swimming or flying. So it depends upon the type of adaptations the animal have. They are using it for different purposes. Like we use our hind limb, that means 2 legs for walking, running, climbing, etc. For swimming, we use our forelimbs as well as hind limbs. For catching, holding. So these kind of limbs, they can be used for different purposes. If we say skin, so skin having so many hairs on the full body parts. Then we have sweat glands also present in them, right? We have proper external ears, we call them as pinna. Hearing capacity is very good. Different type of teeth are present. Incisors, canines, molars, premolars, milk teeth, permanent teeth. So heart is also 4-chambered. 2 auricles, two ventricles, double circulation takes place so that the body can efficiently produce energy and the oxygen can easily flow from one part to the another. Warm-blooded homeothermos means we can maintain the body temperature constant. We can regulate it by either switching on the fan during summers or putting over the woolen clothes during winter season. Lungs are the main respiratory organs. Mostly next features are same, sexes are separate, internal fertilization. Viviparous means they can give birth to young one. Few exceptions like platypus which can lay eggs. Development is directly from the fetus, young one will grow. So any kind of example you can write. This table is important for revision so that you will come to know, have you understood each and every point under every phylum? They have properly taken up the different characteristics like level of organization, symmetry, coelom, segmentation, digestive system, circulatory system, respiratory system. Apart from all these 7 features, which are more important? Distinctive features, because that will give you a clear idea how do different animals vary from each other. I hope students you must have enjoyed this chapter because it is not a new thing. You have already studied different phylums in class 9th as well, but it's fine. If you were not clear, I hope this chapter has given you a very clear vision about the different kind of animals, how do they vary from each other and what were the evolutionary steps and how they are related to each other and how the simple organism they climbed up to become complex ones. So with this note, thank you very much.